Hey Townies, in this one we're doing things a little differently where we're going to go through a replay and get my thought process after the fact of my game as a pirate. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and enjoy the video. Here we go, entering the game as a pirate, number 2 on the list. So we're going to do things a little differently today. We are going to watch the replay of the game because I wasn't recording, but pirate games are always fun to watch. They're always fun to go through. So we're gonna let this one play out. We're not gonna really keep track of Will, but I will just go through my thought process on what we're doing here. We'll see. I forget who I checked, but I don't think. This might not be an actual thing we can do, but because I don't think it'll tell me. Okay, so yes, it will. Okay, so we decided to check 12. Just a random check. He's a default name. 7 and 8 DC Night 1. Our Hexmaster. Our landlubbers are Hexmaster, Investigator, and Amnesiac. So not too difficult. The Investigator should come out. The Amnesiac will hopefully come out if there's a TI that dies, and then there's a Hexmaster. But this is good for us because the Investigator dies, so right now I'm thinking that, oh, perfect. The Amnesiac will remember Investigator, he'll come out, he'll say, I'm Amni Invest, and we'll go from there. But, as you're going to see, there is actually a Retributionist who also dies, and the Amnesiac remembers Retributionist and does not come out right away. But we'll get to that later. But the Necromancer DCs, and the Investigator actually DCs. No idea why the Investigator DC'd. Got a town roll, maybe he had to be somewhere, but I don't know. But we found that 12 was not a landlubber, so that's good for us. Or I guess it's not good for us. But a landlubber did perish, so there's the Ret that dies. So the Amnesiac is going to remember the Retributionist. At least that's what we assume, since no one came out. No one's going to come out day 2 and say, hey, I'm Amni Invest, but we know there's an Amni, and we're pretty sure he's Retributionist right now. So if we get into VFA, we're going to say, probably go for a guy who claims TS. So 1's claiming Seer, he says 6 and 9 are enemies, 6 says Spy, no info, and then 9 says he was attacked. So 3 gets knighted, and then, oh, Deputy comes out, so boom. Deputy shoots 6, and 6 was Hexmaster. So now we're thinking, alright, we just got one more landlubber to go. Perfect. But we're going to notice that the lookout said 9 was visited by 12. And 1 claims to have visited 6 and 9. So we're going to come out here. We're going to say that the Seer, has to be fake. But we're actually really happy that the Seer was fake because it got the Hexmaster shot by the random Deputy. So 15 comes out, says, I killed 6, so 15's Deputy, and then people are like, oh, nice shot, Dep, and then I come out and say, I'm 2, I come out and say, so 1's fake then, and I say, get 1, and 1 is like, how am I fake? And I'm like, Lookout didn't see you on 9, and so he's going to get up pretty quickly here. So, good thing about this mod, though, is that we can speed it up a little bit. So 1 just says, I just realized, hee, so we're going to up him real quick. He's going to end up claiming serial killer, so he's just like, but I'm serial killer, don't kill me. Yeah, and we're like, we can't let a serial killer run rampant around here, so we're gonna end up killing this guy. We're gonna end up guiltying. He says, come on, don't kill this innocent serial killer, which is weird because there were no serial killer kills. But we end up going for the guilty here. I say, only if you tell me where Old Man Willie buried his treasure. And he's going to say he doesn't know, so then I say death. So he does end up getting guiltied, so we'll just speed through this a little bit. He gets guiltied 7-1. 13 goes for the Inno, so I'm like, why did 13 just Inno? And 13's going to end up saying he thought he was Jester, which, I mean, is fair a little bit. Like, he just said he was SK, so I can feel like he's Jest. He was also seen not visiting. Or he didn't visit the guy he said he visited. So, could have been Jester, but what he says next is what really tips me off to make me want to kill him. As you'll see, right there, he says, I'm TS. So, my thought process right here is that, okay, Amnesiac. He could be saying he is Amnesiac, but an Amnesiac would have remembered a Retributionist. So we decide to go in on the plunder on 13 right here. We're going all in. We're going for this Night 2 win. We're going to leave town early, but we're going to speed through this again. But we're going to see that in 2 seconds that he has defense. So 3 goes down, 3 was lookout. So we're preparing to tell people that, like, okay, why are none of the TPs on 3? And I'm thinking, okay, 13 might actually be, like, a lookout, but I come in, or a TS, but I'm like, yo, why aren't the TPs on the lookout? 9 claims witched, and then right here, you can see 14 says, Amni Retri, invest 13, no crime. So, 13 says he was barriered, and I'm like, that's a complete lie. Why would anyone barrier 13 when we have a confirmed lookout? So I'm like, this is crap. Why would TBs be on a random TS claim? And then four's on the same page as me. He's like, at this point, TPs come out because there's absolutely no way that 13 is real right here. But 13 had no crime. And then I think he might be Jester, which is fair. He could have defense as Jester. But I'm gonna vote him up. But right now, I plundered him and didn't lose my plunder. So I'm not 100% sure right now how Pirate works with if you plunder someone and they don't die, but they aren't your landlubber, do you lose your plunders? So that's what's going through my head right now. 5 comes in and says he could be SC. And then he gets up, and then 13 says, okay, I could care less if we want to do this. 13's whispering 12, and they're whispering back and forth for some reason. No idea why. And then 5 just says, let's get more claims. Like, no, we can hang this guy. He's evil. Why are we going to not hang him? 4 claims TK. I'm going to come in. I'm going to claim TK too. But TK, I mean, if we get hard pushed, we're just going to claim Pirate. But we're just going to say TK. Maybe people think we're vet and they stay off us. But 9 is going to end up claiming Baker here. He's going to claim Baker. He's going to get upped pretty quickly. But my whole thing I'm thinking, okay, I plundered 13, but he didn't die. But if he wasn't my landlubber, would I lose my plunders? Turns out, if you plunder someone, but they have defense or they are saved, you don't lose your plunders, even if they are not a landlubber. So, I want to get a full claim from 13 here. So I say, can we at least get a full claim from 13? I'm like, okay, like, why would 13 have defense? 5's on board. He says full claim, and this is when he says, I'm socialite. So we're thinking he's going to say it any second here. But this gets guiltied 4-2, and he claimed Baker. He ends up actually... I'll just wait for it to pop, so it's a little bit of a surprise. But Doomsayer. He ends up being Doomsayer. And then 13 says, okay, 2 has to be evil for pushing me so hard, and 5 is likely the last to coven. He says he's socialite. So at that point, I'm like, okay, he's 100% fake. If he was Amni Ret, he would say he was Amni Ret. Like, that's just 100%. But now we're going to go for 14 because 14 claimed Amni Ret. Like, if there's another Amnesiac Retributionist, we'll take the L on this one. But we're pretty sure it's 14. Like, no one else would have come in and said Investigator body was missing, and no one claimed Amni Investigator, so we're pretty sure we're about to get the win here on 14. But right now, I'm thinking that plunder interaction, like, because it says, if your target is not a landlubber, you will lose all remaining ability charges. Okay, important here, we saw that 4 was Jinx, and someone attacked us. The Jinx attacked us because we visited the same person. So what we're actually going to do right now is we're going to go in, and we hate Coven. So as you can see, I'm whispering 13. 4 is Jinx. All right? 15. 4 is Jinx. And I think I tell 12 too. 12. Yeah, I'm like 12. 4 is Jinx. So we're getting the Jinx outed right here. We don't want Coven to win. There's just too many Coven wins. We want at least a neutral to get the win, or maybe Town. Towards the neutrals. But we end up leaving town in victory, and all our landlubbers are dead. So now we just get to sit back, and then 5 says attack but defense. So you would think that everyone would be saying, like, hey, Pirate whispered me that 4 is Jinx. 13's the only one who does that. So 4's Jinx. We're gonna fast forward right here, but also the Socialite claimed Witch, but as 4 pointed out, Socialite is control immune. So that's interesting. Put a pin in that. We'll see what happens. But yeah, 4 is gonna get up tier pretty quick. He's Jinx. We know he's Jinx. Everyone else knows he's Jinx. So we're just gonna speed on right through this. He says, I also love how nobody's questioning me saying attack with defense. So 5 is saying defense and no one trusts that, or no one's saying anything about that. But he gets guilty 2-0. 12 and 5 are the only guys who are guilty. 13 says 11 is the witch from my scum read. So we'll put a pin in that. But 4 is Jinx, he goes down. Wouldn't be surprised if 11 is evil, says 5. Probs is. So we have nothing left to do, so Purple Crusader, go Burr. The 5 is claimed to be Monarch. So we're going to speed through this nighttime because nothing happens. At this point, I wasn't really paying attention because we had already won. But 5 says attack but defense. He's Monarch, so he has defense. So we're assuming the Coven keep attacking him. 5 says I've already claimed it. And then 4 says, oh no, since when did you exist? LOL. Alright. And they said, like they thought I was lying, LMAO, hang 11 here. So we'll speed it up a little bit here. And 13, no one's claimed UO, so also I wasn't witched. So 11 gets up tier, but 13 probably should have gotten hanged here. I feel like 13... Right now, my idea was that he's probably a Jester or Soul Collector, because he was found with no crime, he is claiming Socialite, no one's seen a UO, and then 11 comes in and says 13 is Soul Collector, 12 is SK. So we know 15's Deputy, so right now, everybody is pretty much outed. 15 Deputy, 13 Soul Collector, 12 SK, 11 Witch, 5 Monarch. So we're just gonna see how this plays out. 13 says, I'm the SK. And this gets guiltied. So 3 says, they attacked 9 night 1. I saw them. 3 was Lookout, so we'll just have to see. There is no SK, says 12. Which is funny because 12 is the SK. And Witch goes down. So 4 Coven in the grave. We left town, and then there's 2 townies left, a SK and a Soul Collector. So yeah, Witch is saying 13 Soul Collector, 12 SK. Why would 11 and 12 be whispering? I don't know, but we're gonna speed through nighttime again because we can't. Whoa! I did not know that the ghost moves that fast when the speed is up. But Deputy goes down, gets stabbed by SK. I mean, they had to do that because the Monarch would have defense until 15 gets killed here. So he says, and then the Soul Collector pops. So right now it's Kingmaker, 5's Monarch, 12's SK, 13 is Soul Collector. So 13 says, SK win, baby, yes. And then 12 says, I'm SK, 5, pick who you want to win. And then 5's like, Death can win as well. And then, yeah, so the game pretty much, there is a little tension on who the Monarch is going to pick right here. But 13's Death, 12 is SK, and then 5 is Kingmaker. And it was, someone was like, yeah, 4 says Monarch is a literal Kingmaker. Which is funny because he knights people and he's Monarch, which is a king, but yeah. The big question is, who's he going to vote? Is he going to vote the SK? Is he going to vote Death? Is he just going to let it run down anyways? But we shall see. Who's he going to pick? And I say just let the SC pop. I would have given it to the SC. Serial Killer had a teammate, technically. SC was solo, so it made it harder on him. But 5 ends up voting 13, the Soul Collector here. 3 says, dang, 2 Rets in a 5-town game. Yeah, 2 Retributionists with 1 Deputy, a Lookout, an Investigator, and a Monarch. Head again, then 13 says, well, GG SK, I was solo. And then 5 says, I would have let death win if you didn't lie to me. Because 13 was trying to go for the... Because I feel like people will give neutral killings the win in Kingmaker situations. So 13, he went and said, SK win, baby, yes. So he tried to make it look like he was SK. But then 12 was like, I'm SK. And the Witch also outed both of them. So it was 100% known who was who. So 13 was like, always lie, never tell the truth, truth is for losers. And then, yeah, so death goes down. And then the SK is going to get the win here. He's going to be able to kill 5 tonight since 5 does not have defense. Since the deputy who got knighted ended up dying at last night. So I was like, he told a lie in a social deception game? Madness. But yeah, we're going to speed through the night again because nothing happens because I say jokes on 12, I trapped 5. Obviously, that's not true, but Monarch goes down. I'm going to speed through this again a little bit. SK gets the win, but fun game. I mean, we got a nice, easy, quick win. The Deputy shot the Hexmaster for us. The Invest DC'd for us, and then we ended up killing the Amnesty Retributionist. So, we get the win. SK gets the win. GG's. Good luck in your next games, and we'll see you next time.